The electrical code has consistently prohibited joining an MB non-metallic sheath cable and SER service entrance cable at a subpanel. An MB cable is specifically designed and approved for use in interior dry locations. Its construction and insulation are not intended to withstand moisture or direct exposure to the elements. Conversely, a SER cable is designed and constructed for use in both exterior and wet locations. It's built to be more resistant to moisture and environmental factors. Joining these two different types of cables at a subpanel introduces a significant risk. The primary concern is the potential for water intrusion into the subpanel enclosure. If moisture penetrates the NMB cable, it can compromise the insulation and create a path for electrical current to leak or short circuit. This can lead to electrical shock hazards for anyone who comes into contact with the panel or connected devices. Furthermore, the presence of water can cause corrosion of electrical components within the subpanel, leading to malfunctions, equipment failure, and potentially even electrical fires. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, clearly outlines the restrictions on the use of NMB cable. Section 334.15b of the NEC explicitly states that NM cable shall not be used in wet locations. This prohibition is in place to prevent the hazards associated with moisture exposure. SER cable, on the other hand, is permitted for use in wet locations, but its installation may require specific measures to ensure safety and compliance. Typically, SER cable installed in wet locations must be run through a conduit or other approved raceway. A raceway provides physical protection for the cable and helps to prevent moisture from coming into direct contact with the cable's outer jacket. Some other relevant sections of the NEC might include Article 300, which covers wiring methods in general, and Article 310, which addresses conductors for general wiring. Within Article 310, tables like 310.15b16 are used to determine the ampacity or current carrying capacity of conductors based on their insulation type and installation conditions. These tables are critical for ensuring that conductors are not overloaded, which can lead to overheating and fire hazards. Furthermore, Article 408, which focuses on switchboards and panel boards, including subpanels. This article contains requirements for the installation, wiring, and protection of these electrical distribution components. It's important to ensure that all wiring within a subpanel is properly sized, insulated, and protected to prevent electrical faults and ensure safe operation. When working with electrical installations, it is essential to consult the latest edition of the NEC and adhere to all applicable local codes and regulations. Electrical work should only be performed by qualified and licensed electricians who have the knowledge and experience to ensure safety and compliance. Ignoring code requirements and safety precautions can have serious consequences, including electrical shock, fire, and property damage. Always prioritize safety and seek professional guidance when dealing with electrical systems. Firstly, understand the fundamental differences between NMB and SER cables. Secondly, always consult the NEC and local codes for specific requirements and restrictions. Thirdly, never compromise on safety when working with electrical systems. Fourthly, if you are not qualified to perform electrical work, always hire a licensed electrician. Fifthly, remember that water and electricity are a dangerous combination, and precautions must be taken to prevent moisture intrusion into electrical systems. Sixthly, ensure that all electrical components are properly grounded to minimize the risk of electrical shock. Seventhly, regularly inspect electrical systems for signs of damage or deterioration and address any issues promptly. Eighthly, use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as insulated gloves and eye protection when working with electricity. Ninthly, always to energize circuits before working on them whenever possible. Tenthly, double-check your work and ensure that all connections are secure and properly insulated. In summary, the prohibition against mixing NMB and SER cable at a subpanel is a long-standing code requirement designed to prevent water intrusion and electrical hazards. Adhering to this code and following safe electrical practices is crucial for protecting people and property from the dangers of electricity. Always consult the NEC and seek professional guidance when working with electrical systems. The purpose of electrical codes is to establish minimum safety standards for electrical installations. These codes are developed and updated regularly by organizations such as the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, which publishes the NEC. The NEC is a comprehensive set of guidelines that covers virtually every aspect of electrical wiring and equipment. Local jurisdictions often adopt the NEC as the basis for their local electrical codes, with some modifications to address specific local conditions or requirements. It is important to be aware of and comply with both the NEC and any applicable local codes when performing electrical work. Failure to comply with these codes can result in fines, penalties, and even legal liability in the event of an accident or injury. Furthermore, non-compliant installations can create hazardous conditions that put people and property at risk. One of the key principles of electrical safety is proper grounding. Grounding provides a low resistance path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip circuit breakers or fuses and to energize the circuit. This protects people from electrical shock and reduces the risk of fire. The NEC specifies detailed requirements for grounding electrical systems, including the size and type of grounding conductors, the methods for connecting grounding electrodes, and the bonding of metal enclosures and equipment. Another important aspect of electrical safety is overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of current in the event of an overload or short circuit. This prevents overheating of conductors and equipment, which can lead to fire. The NEC specifies the types and sizes of overcurrent protection devices that are required for different types of circuits and equipment. It also specifies the methods for installing and protecting these devices. Electrical wiring must be properly sized to carry the intended load without overheating. The NEC provides tables that specify the ampacity of different types of conductors based on their size, insulation type, and installation conditions. It is important to select conductors that are large enough to handle the load and to protect them from physical damage. Electrical connections must be made properly to ensure good electrical contact and prevent overheating. The NEC specifies the types of connectors that are allowed for different types of conductors and applications. It also specifies the methods for making connections, such as using torque wrenches to tighten connections to the proper torque. Electrical equipment must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and the requirements of the NEC. This includes providing adequate ventilation for equipment that generates heat, protecting equipment from physical damage, and ensuring that equipment is properly grounded. Electrical inspections are an important part of ensuring electrical safety. Electrical inspectors review electrical installations to verify that they comply with the NEC and local codes. They can identify potential hazards and ensure that corrections are made before the installation is energized. Electrical inspections are typically required for new construction, renovations, and additions to existing electrical systems. When performing electrical work, it is important to follow safe work practices to minimize the risk of injury. These practices include wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, energizing circuits before working on them, and using insulated tools. It is also important to be aware of the potential hazards associated with electricity and to take precautions to avoid them. Working with electricity can be dangerous, but by following safe work practices and complying with electrical codes, it is possible to minimize the risk of injury and ensure the safety of people and property. Remember to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about electrical safety. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and industry best practices. It is important to stay up to date on the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that your electrical work is compliant with the most current standards. You can purchase a copy of the NEC from the NFPA or from many online retailers. The NEC is a complex document, but it is an essential resource for anyone who works with electricity. By taking the time to study and understand the NEC, you can improve your electrical safety knowledge and skills. There are many resources available to help you learn about the NEC, including books, online courses, and training programs. Consider taking a course or attending a training program to learn more about the NEC and how to apply it to your electrical work. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Everyone who works with electricity has a responsibility to follow safe work practices and comply with electrical codes. By working together, we can create a safer electrical environment for everyone. Finally, remember that electrical work should only be performed by qualified and licensed electricians. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, always hire a licensed electrician to do the job. A licensed electrician has the knowledge and experience to ensure that the work is done safely and in compliance with electrical codes.